Boa tarde, pessoal. Sejam todos muito bem-vindos a mais esse evento do Education USA. Hoje nós estamos com Embry-Riddle aqui e Amy Fan, a diretora de International Admissions, e Haruka Morris, que é a gerente de matrículas e do Intensive English Program. Elas vão falar um pouco sobre como se candidatar e como se destacar nas candidaturas para Embry-Riddle. Vocês não precisam, vocês podem escrever em inglês e fazer as perguntas em inglês, mas se alguém tiver algum constrangimento, preferir fazer em português, escrevam no chat. É claro que eu posso responder, eu posso enviar as perguntas em inglês e traduzir para vocês. Será um enorme prazer. Essa session está sendo gravada e será colocada na nossa página do YouTube. Convido vocês todos a passearem para a nossa página do YouTube, que é uma página muito rica, com informações maravilhosas sobre candidaturas, com vídeos de todas as nossas sessões. Tá? Tem uma ótima sessão. Haruka Nemi, the floor is yours.
I'm ready. Okay, I'm turned. Okay. Bonjour, everyone. My name is Haruka Morris. I'm the matriculation manager for the Embry-Riddle Language Institute, or ARI for short. And I have Amy, the director of international admissions, here with me today. Amy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Amy. I'm the director of international admissions specifically for our Arizona campus. I have been with Embry-Riddle for about 8.5 years now.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us today. So in this session, we'll share what makes Embry-Riddle unique and what we look for in applicants and how you can strengthen your profile before applying to the university. Okay, so let's get started. So Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University is known as the world top university specializing in aviation and aerospace and STEM. And we have two main campuses, one in Daytona Beach, Florida, located in very close to the beach, and another in the beautiful mountains of Prescott campus, right? Prescott, Arizona, right here. So I'm based in the Daytona Beach campus, and then as Amy said, Amy oversees the Prescott International Admissions. So we have about 8,700 students at the Daytona Beach campus and 3,200 at the Prescott. And we have 1,300 international students altogether and from all over 100 different countries, including many from Brazil. Actually, we have about 26 Brazilian students currently studying at the Embry-Riddle. So we have more than 150,000 alumni around the world, and 10 of them have become astronauts. And these are the 10 astronauts from Embry-Riddle. And I like mention about it because how many university can blog about this. So it's cool, right? And our campuses are ranked #1 in Florida and Arizona for the highest earning potential among bachelor's degree graduates. In addition, our undergraduate aerospace engineering program holds the top national ranking. Embry-Riddle is also home to the first and only undergraduate aerospace physiology program in the United States. So if you're not familiar with aerospace physiology, it's a unique field that combines biomedicine and aerospace science. So students learn how the human body responds to different flight environments, such as microgravity or high altitude, preparing them for the career that bridge medicine and aerospace. We are also proud to offer the nation's first College of Security and Intelligence, which focuses on cybersecurity, intelligence and analysis, and global security issues. So from here, I will hand it over to Amy, and she can talk more about our programs.
So these next few slides, I fixed it a little bit. So I wanted to showcase and give examples of degree programs that fall under the umbrella of STEM. The ones that are bolded are the ones that Embry-Riddle offers. The ones that are not bolded may not be offered by Embry-Riddle, but are offered by other US institutions as you're exploring your choices in studying in the US. And so Haruka already mentioned and dived into aerospace physiology. That's always a very unique program. Other ones I like to touch on is space and astrophysics. Embry-Riddle is one of the very few universities in the US that offers these programs at the undergraduate level. For the most part, typically at larger institutions, you may have to study general physics for your undergrad, and then you dive into more space and astro focus for your master's degree. But at Embry-Riddle, you do have the ability to go straight into it for your undergraduate studies. Another one being psychology. Psychology, at least when I was in school, when I thought of it, I thought of therapy. I thought of clinical psychologists, but there's so much more than that. There's forensic psychology as well. So working in a crime scene investigation environment and learning how to detect deception amongst witnesses, suspects, victims and whatnot. So supporting the crime scene investigation realm. Human factor psychology, on the other hand, is an intersection of psychology, design, engineering, and safety. It's how we as humans interact with machines and environments. So some of the research can include pilot fatigue, air traffic controller performance, accident investigation, things like that. So psychology is not only about therapy, it's so much more than that, but this kind of gives you a good snapshot of what falls under science. Next slide, please. Technology, I'm not going to read through everything, but I will say the more popular ones I've been seeing recently is cybersecurity. Pretty obvious. I mean, we're so reliant as a society on technology. I personally have my credit card information on my Apple phone, so I could just tap at the grocery store, make it so easy. But we don't want that information to go out. And so we do offer it as a bachelor's program and a master's program. Another one that I'm seeing that is not offered at Embry-Riddle is artificial intelligence, AI. So the birth of ChatGPT, Copilot on Outlook and whatnot. So we don't offer it as a major, but AI studies is integrated in several of our programs like electrical engineering, computer science, of course, data science being a very helpful degree program to study if you want to work in AI in the future as well. Next slide, please. Engineering, straightforward as well. I will say with engineering, if you're looking for it in the US, look for schools that have programs that are ABET accredited, ABET. It's an accreditation that's given to programs itself within engineering and technology and not to the school as a whole. And so it's basically quality assurance in the eyes of the employer. So they're seeing that this board has accredited the program. They've looked through the curriculum. They've made sure that what you're studying, what you're researching, and the experience that you're getting meets the standard for that career field in the industry. Next slide. And just to touch on a couple of our more popular industries that we offer within the Embry-Riddle community, aviation being, of course, the bigger one. Embry-Riddle started as one of the first 5 flight schools established in the US back in the 20s. And so we started purely as a flight school, training military pilots at that time, and that's why aeronautical is in our name. We are more now a generalized STEM school, university, I would call it. So we still train pilots. We have, of course, all those other majors. A fun fact in regard to aviation is 25% of US commercial pilots are graduates of our institution. And so 1 out of 4 chances when you're flying with any of our US carriers, you're flying with one of our former students. Next slide, please. Some of other careers that aviation feeds into. So we do have an air traffic management program. We have an aviation business program, things like that. I will say there is really rapid growth and demand on the drone sector side. So drones being used, not just your simple photography drones, but drones being used by law enforcement to do search and rescue, in the military for canvassing, things like that. Next slide. And of course, engineering again. I would say if you're searching for engineering programs, making sure that you do have that opportunity to have that hands-on experience and that element of getting your hands dirty, building projects, 3D printing items. Next slide. showcases the different career potentials. So of course, engineers in all regards and aspects, but one thing I do want to make a note of, aerospace engineering being a popular one that students research when they look at Embry-Riddle. As a foreign national, it doesn't matter what US institution you study at. If you're looking for a career that is government related, defense related, or requires top security clearance, it is restricted for US citizens for those job positions only. However, there's plenty of opportunity for you to look in the private sector. So working for aerospace manufacturers, for the airlines, for drone companies. So there are opportunities. I mean, in Mexico, the CEO of Safran in Mexico is an Embry-Riddle alumni, and that's an aerospace manufacturing company. It exists in California as well. So we have students doing internships and working full time in the California branch. We've had students intern with Hawker Pacific Aerospace. So there are opportunities for foreign nationals to work in the aerospace engineering setting, but just keep in mind that if you're dreaming of NASA or SpaceX, that may not be as much of an opportunity. There's companies like Blue Origins, which technically is considered private, but there is a lot of top security clearance that is required. But we do have a student that has gone on to work for Blue Origins. So I wouldn't write off the company entirely, but the position itself is very important when it comes to top security clearance. Next slide. And now stepping a little backwards, why study STEM in the US? Well, we are home to leading STEM companies. So we put some of the different logos up here just to kind of showcase what entities were born here and why is it important for you when you're studying in the US? It's the proximity. With the proximity of them being in our backyard, you do have more of that leverage and access to internships, co-ops, job opportunities, research projects. Even if as a foreign national, you can't work for NASA directly, you can get involved in student projects on campus where there is a NASA employee that's either a judge or a club advisor or a project advisor that's overseeing what you're doing and can give you feedback as a mentor. So there is a roundabout way for you to still get that experience and glean on the experience from these professionals. Next slide. Cutting edge research opportunities, again, I mentioned it earlier, hands-on experience, especially as an engineer, especially as a pilot, being very important. You don't want to only learn things from textbook, but you do also want that element where you can apply what you're learning from the books in a real life setting and being able to build those skill sets from early on as an undergrad so that it translates into your future career. Next slide. Going back to Embry-Riddle in particular, these are some of the different projects that our students are involved in, and this is all at the bachelor's undergrad level. So LIGO being a global research project, but the two main and original LIGO labs were built in the US. One, I believe, in Washington, the other one somewhere, I think, Louisiana on the East Coast, but they're studying gravitational wave detection. And so back in 2015 was when they first detected a ripple. From that ripple, they helped prove Einstein's theory of relativity. And out of 1,000 plus authors that were published on the research project that was published in 2017, we had one of our undergrad students in the space physics program. She was the youngest out of those thousands of scholars. So that's a very neat opportunity that you can experience at Embry-Riddle in particular. Another one being another space physics student. She worked with Dr. Richardson and helped identify a rare binary star orbit system. And so with binary star systems, we typically think of it as an elliptical shape because when one star implodes, it kind of, that energy kicks the second star into an elliptical shape. But in this case, that supernova star, when that supernova happened, it didn't have as much energy to kick the second star. So it kind of stayed in more of a circular shape, which is a lot more rare. There's, from the last time I saw, there was 8 officially recognized circular orbits out there. And our student was kind of just asking for things to do. Approached our professor on campus and was given a pile of data. And from that data, she worked with scholars in New Zealand and helped identify that binary star orbit system. So really great opportunity. We like to launch things and blow things up at Embry-Riddle too. And so we have our rocketry team where they built and constructed a rocket They hauled it out to the desert in California and reconstructed it on site within 3 days, and we more than doubled the previous record set. So again, all at the undergrad level. Next slide, please. Yeah, try to speed up here. Other reasons to study STEM in the US, flexibility, not only with choosing your major, but also where you want to live and what lifestyle you want to live. So there's so many different climates, so many different environments that exist from East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, southern part of the US. And then going to schools that may have over 100 more comprehensive schools that have many different program options where you could do music and be in space physics at the same time, be a pilot and pursue statistics at the same time. But also cultural diversity is a big thing. Being a part of a US campus where it offers diversity. So you have that little feeling of being back home, but you're also gleaning on the experiences of people that come from all sorts of different backgrounds. So yes, there's over 1 million international students in the US, but the US itself is a big melting pot as well. And then OPT, CPT are particular to the US. I'm not going to bore you with the acronyms, but CPT being more internship opportunities while you're in the curriculum that relates to what you're studying. OPT being an opportunity for you to continue working and gaining experience in the US after you've finished a degree program. Typically it's 1 year. If you're in a STEM program, it's an additional 2 years on top of that. Next slide, please. Admissions requirements, transcripts, English proficiency scores. So those are examples of some of the different exams that we do accept and the minimum scores. Recommendation letters and essays are optional but highly preferred. SAT and ACT score is optional but required for international merit scholarships. So we do offer up to 21,000 annual merit scholarships for international students on both the Florida and Arizona campus, but we do require that test score because we take into account the test score and your US GPA. It's not part of admission, so proof of funds and copy of passport is primarily for getting your immigration paperwork completed, so you have that document to study in the US. Next slide, please. And this is what encompasses what we're looking at when we look at your admissions profile, your academic performance. It's not only the GPA, it's also how your grades trended over the years you were in high school and what type of courses you're taking. We're not purely looking for students that are excelling, taking APs, IBs, all honor classes. If you're taking a good mixture and you're trending very well over the years, we take that into account. Maybe your first year in high school, you were so motivated and joined too many clubs and spread yourself too thin and your grades took a big hit your first year in high school. We'll take that into account and see if you've improved over the years. So even if your grades, your cumulative GPA may not look as high, we do look at how your years trended. Personal essay, motivations, career goals, and extracurriculars, those are ways for us to see who you are as a person, your leadership characteristics, other characteristics, how you fit into our campus community. That's not shown through your grades, through those numbers that are just very clear. Okay, well, you're academically excelling, but who are you as a person? So letters of recommendation as well. Don't choose a physics professor or a math professor just because you're going into a STEM field. Choose a teacher that can speak more to you and your experience, your academic capabilities, your work ethics, things like that. We want to know you more between the lines. And of course, English proficiency, we take that into account. We have our minimums, but even if you don't meet our minimum English proficiency, we do have our English language institute, which Haruka will talk more about.
Okay. Yes, thank you. So as Amy mentioned, English proficiency is one of the key requirements for admission. But there are many ways to improve your English, right? You can study independently to reach the TOEFL or Duolingo score, or these days there's a AI English learning apps, so you can improve your speaking skills with that. Or you can even watch your favorite TV shows to strengthen your listening skills. But many universities, including Embry-Riddle, offers intensive English programs designed specifically for academic preparation. So, what are the benefits of studying English at a university compared to just studying on your own? So at a university like ours, English programs focuses on academic English, the language used in classrooms, textbooks, and research papers. Just like in Portuguese, the way we speak in everyday conversation and the way we read or write is right in academic setting are quite different. So academic English uses more formal expressions, specialized vocabulary, and subject-specific terminology. At the Embry-Riddle Language Institute, students learn to understand and use English in academic context. So you'll expand your vocabulary for university settings, strengthen your academics writing, and learn how to read complex research papers and textbooks full of technical terminologies. And you will also develop essential communication skills, discussion, debate, and presentation. So in American classrooms, students are encouraged to share opinions, lead discussion, and present projects from RE age. But in many other country, including my home country, I'm originally from Japan, we don't practice those skills as often in school. So I remember struggling at the first time when I studied at the U.S. university because I wasn't used to it. So that's why English language training is so valuable. It gives you the confidence and practice you need to express yourself clearly and effectively. And by the time you start your degree program, you'll be ready to actively participate in class and communicate your idea with ease. So let's talk about the intensive English program. So in most university, classes are held Monday through Friday, about over 18 hours per week for students on a student visa. So you'll study English intensively and focus on improving your overall communication skills. But your learning doesn't stop in the classroom because you will be living in the United States. So you'll use English in your daily life. Whether you go to grocery shopping or talk to school staff or interacting with your classmates, you'll be surrounded by English everywhere you go. And that immersion helps you make progress much faster. So let's take a look at the RE program or English program. So we offer five core classes: grammar, writing, reading, listening and speaking, and special topic courses. And students who are studying with the F1 student visa are required to take all five core classes each term. And we offer four level of instruction from high beginner to advanced level. One great feature of our program is students can take split levels, meaning that if students English skill is stronger in one area, but they need more support in another area, they don't have to stay in the same level for every class. That way, they can strengthen the area that they're strong at while they are building the foundation in the area they need more development. So special topic courses. Our special topic course is very unique. It combines English training with the themed content, such as aviation and aerospace, aviation, English for visual flight rules, human factors in aviation, and American culture and the U.S. education system. So in these courses, students are introduced to key concepts in aviation and aerospace engineering while expanding their English vocabulary and learning the terminology used in these fields. So for example, in the aviation and aerospace course, students learn English through topics like aviation history, principle of aviation. They also study basic parts of airplane. I think this is a wonderful opportunity for students to build both their English skills and their understanding of technical subject before starting their degree program. And let me share my quick personal experience. So when I studied at the U.S. university, I had already met the English requirement. I didn't take the intensive English program. Um, I studied English on my own for the TOEFL test, and my score was 30 points higher than the minimum requirement. So I was confident in my English skills at the time. But in my first semester, I took an anthropology class and I understood only about 30% of what the professor was saying. The reason it was because I didn't know the terminology or concepts used in that field. Also, professor and a classmate spoke faster than the, the listening practice CD that I was using. So while studying TOEFL helped me improve my English skills a, a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it helped me a lot, but it didn't prepare me for a specific subject like anthropology. So that's why aviation and aerospace course is so valuable. It gives you the opportunity to be exposed to real academic content and vocabulary before you start your degree program. So you already have the background knowledge at the and the language skills to feel more confident in your university classes. And for those of you who are interested in the aeronautical science program, we also offer a specific course called English for Visual Flight Rules. So this course focuses on radio communication and weather navigation, both of which are essential for pilots operating under visual flight rules. So in this class, students learn how to communicate clearly and effectively over the radio, a skill that becomes especially important once you start taking a flight training. So as aeronautical science students, you need to communicate with air traffic controllers, and that requires a specific style of communication. And I'm not gonna lie, it's quite different from how we speak in everyday conversation. So the phrase, tones, and structure used in aviation communication are very precise and can take some time to get used to it. So that's why this course is such a great opportunity to practice and build confidence before you begin actual flight training. Now, we also have English Pathway program, as Amy mentioned, and where students can take one or two academic classes while studying English with us. So this is a great opportunity for students who plan to enter a degree program but haven't yet met the full English proficiency requirements. So through this program, you can earn academic credits towards your degree program while improving your English skills, even before you're officially admitted to the full academic program. And here are the requirements. So you must be accepted into the degree program and provide proof of English proficiency listed here. So this requirement for the English is a little slightly lower than the one required from the academic program. All right, and then we have a placement test at the beginning of the semester. We have a placement test, so we'll determine how many academic classes the students can take. So sometimes it's one academic classes, or if your score is high, then you can take a two or three academic classes. All right, so thank you so much for your attention today. We hope this session give you a clear idea of what makes Embry-Riddle such a unique place and how you can prepare and strengthen your profile to become part of our community. So now we'd like to open the floor for question. Please feel free to ask any question, unmute yourself, or leave a comment in the chat.
Pessoal, para quem entrou depois, eu avisei que se você tiver alguma dúvida, quiser fazer alguma pergunta e não se sentir confortável em fazer em inglês, pode colocar no chat que eu traduzo para vocês, tá bom? Podem se animar, podem abrir o microfone, fiquem à vontade, tá? Enquanto vocês vão esquentando, os autores para fazer as perguntas, eu tenho algumas perguntas. So, while they uh, elaborate on their questions, Haruka, I have some questions,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
The first question is, I think I missed, but what are the minimum scores for TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo for admissions, like for the undergraduate admissions?
For the degree program?
Yes.
Okay, let's go back. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
this is the English proficiency score.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry, I went through that very quickly. I just wanted to try to breeze through as much as I could.
No, that's okay. That's okay. And I could have easily missed that. Thank you. And I have a few questions here. Just a second. Uh, you talked about the diversity, which is great, which is one main characteristic of the U.S. higher education system. I was wondering if there are opportunities for interdisciplinarity, different programs working together.
Yes, there is. And so students are more than welcome to, we have an interdisciplinary program where you can choose your 3 different programs that make it up. Aeronautics, if you know you want to study in aviation, aeronautics is built that way. You choose 3 areas within aviation. It could be a mix of unmanned aerial systems, aviation business, and meteorology, and that makes up your program. So we do have it for particular sectors, but also in general as interdisciplinary. But students also have the option to major, double major, and minor in anything that we offer a major in.
Oh, good. And I was curious, you mentioned aviation psychology. What does that entail? Like, just for us to have an idea, because this is new for me. It's very interesting. Seems interesting.
Yeah. You said aviation psychology or
Yes. Yeah,
so
space, aerospace psychology. You mentioned
oh
something. Yeah.
yeah, so aerospace physiology, it's one of, so we don't have a medical school at Embry-Riddle. We do have, it is considered a pre-med program. So it's more so how does the body interact with different environments in the flight and space flight setting. So when astronauts get launched into space, they have the G-force being put on their body, the high velocity travel. When they're doing their missions up there, they're exposed to cosmic radiation, microgravity. It has a really great effect on bone density over time. So when astronauts come back, that's why you see them wobbling a little bit. They can't stand up. And so due to also their exposure to gravity over time, and they need some like rehabilitation to come back and get used to Earth. But yeah, aerospace physiology students get to work in a clinical setting and get their practice that way with local Florida hospitals. So it is considered pre-med.
Okay, good. And I thank you. And there's a question from Bernardo. Can you talk a little bit about the cost of attendance and financial aid for international students?
Yes, so cost of attendance, let me give you the correct figure. I believe it's 46, let's see, 45,000 for tuition alone. You got to factor in the fees, room and board, all of that. So all inclusive for the degree per year is roughly around $62,000. That's inclusive of tuition, dormitory, meal plan, insurance, all of that. If you wanted to be a pilot, that's an extra added flight training cost on top of that. So that is cost of attendance. In terms of like your I-20, the minimum cost of attendance you have to prove is 63,190 US dollars. And then for financial aid, we do offer merit scholarships. So merit scholarships meaning they're based on your GPA and your SAT or ACT scores. Those are automatic. You don't need to apply for it as long as you meet the minimum 3.0 US GPA. You're automatically reviewed for something. It goes up to $21,000 per year. You get to keep it as long as you're full-time, you maintain your grades. We do also support women in STEM. So we have a separate Women of Excellence scholarship that's $5,000 a year that's stacked on top of the merit scholarship. We also emphasize the importance of networking and connections because it's not about what degree you have. It's also about who you know to get into certain jobs. And so we have an alumni endorsement grant. So if you happen to know an Embry-Riddle alumni, it doesn't matter what year or what campus they graduated from, we verify that they graduated, and you get $1,000 every year on top of everything else, just for knowing someone that was within our community. And so with that said, we are a stack-friendly institution. Stack meaning if you've earned the scholarship, it keeps stacking. We don't take anything away just because you earned other scholarships elsewhere. So if you bring a private scholarship that you got from like a local company out there in Brazil, you earned a scholarship, you bring it to us, we have to add it to your account, but we don't take anything away from you.
Great, thank you. That's a thorough response. I like that. There is another question from Maria Eduarda. She's asking about intensive English course, if it's together with the aviation engineering course, or is it
So
an extra course?
it is an extra course. So we have a language institution. So we offer Embry-Riddle Language Institute offer intensive English program. But you can also, if you have English score um, here. So if you have a these minimum English score, then you can take the pathway program. So in the pathway program, you can take 1 to 2 academic classes while you're studying English with us.
Thank you. I have another question. Embry-Riddle is very peculiar in a way that you go to the university and you know, at least in broad terms, exactly what you want to study, aviation, engineering. So in terms of extracurriculars for applications, uh, does do you value more extracurriculars that are related to science, research, or can be any extracurricular?
That's a good question. So, kind of stepping back a little, we are direct entry into all of our programs, meaning if you know what you want to do, you put on your application that you want to go into mechanical engineering. It's one application. If you're accepted, you're a mechanical engineering student straight away. You still have your general education classes, but you are taking core classes early on as well. And then I'm so sorry. What was the original question? I started somewhere.
I just asked if the extracurriculars, they have to be aligned with what I want to study, or it can be like any subjects, any area.
Yes, extracurriculars. Thank you for reminding me. So extracurriculars, we just want to see a well-rounded student. You could take music club and you could come in and you could apply to be an engineer. We just want to see that you're involved somewhere, somehow outside of the classroom. You could be picking up a part-time job. You could be volunteering in your community. You could be doing things for fun, recreational sports. So everything adds value, and we look at that in the holistic system.
Thank you. You answered my questions. And what are for international students, what kind of support does Embry-Riddle provide for international students, like adaptation, um, housing, clubs? How do you support international?
Yeah, we have over 150 clubs and organizations ranging from actual team sports. We don't have an American football team. We do have a flight team. So if you're really nerdy about planes, we're a great spot for you because we do compete against other US universities, just like as if it was a team sport. So we have those sports, we have intramural sports, we have our staff and faculty interacting with students as well on a basketball team. So staff and faculty call themselves the Balding Eagles because our mascot is an eagle, but kind of an ode to them being older than our college students as well. So our staff and faculty competing against students in basketball, cultural professional clubs and organizations. if there's no club that you see that already exists, it just takes you, a few friends, find yourself a club advisor. You could create any club. Students, there's a club where every Sunday they go down to downtown Prescott just to drink coffee and hang out together, and they get club funding for that. There's K-pop dancing club. It's kind of a great variety. And then in terms of support, we do have on the Florida campus, we have our International Student Services office. Same thing, we just call it different in Arizona, Center for International Program Services. And so we do have on the ground support for immigration needs. For if you were thinking to do an internship, how does that look like with applying for CPT? What does the timeline look like if you want to go home, getting your travel signature to make sure that you're all set to come back? And then, of course, with counselors, we have counselors for everything. I myself am on the admission side, so I'm constantly knocking on your door. Hey, you need to submit this document. Let's complete your application. Let's get you accepted. I help issue the initial I-20 to get you started to get your visa to come to the States. Once you're on campus, we have the financial aid advisors because, and this is applicable to any US university you go to, or I want to say globally, but US for sure. Financial aid does not stop after you get accepted. Once you get your first package, it continues throughout your entire studies. Keep talking to the financial aid counselors because there may be scholarships available to you through donors as a current student. So keep looking for that. Career advisors for career support, building your resume. We host a fashion show to show you how to dress professionally for meetings. We take you out on a dining excursion where we show you in a professional setting when you go to these banquet events. Where's the fork? Where's the knife? How do you conduct yourself in these networking conferences? So lots of great support for students.
We also have our on-campus housing, so freshmen and a sophomore, it's required to stay on campus.
Which is
And
great for adaptation, isn't it?
yeah, so you can get a more, it's easier to connect with the other students. We also have a meal plan available, so students who are on campus, they must purchase meal plan, but even they're not living on campus, they can also buy meal plan. So there's like a couple options for each
Great.
students. Yeah.
Bernardo has another interesting question. How international students interested in aerospace engineering work around ITAR restrictions? I've never heard this acronym before. Thanks, Bernardo.
Bernardo, we're getting down to the specifics. So ITAR, I don't know how to exactly pronounce it either, but International Traffic in Arms Regulations. So just another way of saying, well, it's like defense related. So I mentioned earlier in the presentation, but if you're looking to go into aerospace engineering, the job opportunities that relate to the US government, defense that requires top security clearance, that is reserved for US citizens only. Doesn't matter if you go to Embry-Riddle or another institution that offers aerospace engineering. That's just how it is in the US. I would assume that's the same with any other country that has government positions. It's reserved for their citizens only. And so our aerospace engineering students focus in opportunities on the private sector. So I had a student from Papua New Guinea. She interned with Hawker Pacific Aerospace, and then now she's working full-time as a stress engineer at Safran in California. And then I mentioned earlier as well, but the CEO of Safran at the Mexico branch is an Embry-Riddle alumni as well. I had another student who studied aerospace engineering, but then went and worked on drones, and she worked with someone who ended up showing, they were presenting in Shark Tank, the show as well. So there's so many different opportunities. It's not going to be the clear-cut dream that you grew up thinking, NASA, astronauts, SpaceX, things like that. But there are plenty of opportunities out there for you.
Anyone would like to ask a question? Because I'm asking too many questions. Maybe that's I'm overtaking the floor. Anybody wants to ask a question?
We also have a location in Sao Paulo. We have our worldwide campus out there. So even if you won't see myself or Haruka anytime soon in Brazil, hopefully soon, but if you don't see us, then at least you'll be able to meet our local colleagues that operate the worldwide campus out there. And it is an option for you to start at the Sao Paulo campus take general education classes, and then it is offered at a cheaper tuition rate because it's more of like an online hybrid sort of curriculum. And so you have classrooms there, but it's an um, online modality. And so you can always start there and then transfer to our residential campuses later on and cut the cost that way.
And do you know if it's São Paulo, the main city, or outside the capital? Do you have any idea?
I could quickly look it up. I'm not too sure.
That's okay. Meanwhile, maybe even Haruka can answer this question.
Yeah.
Is there one thing that you think that students, they don't realize about Embry-Riddle, and when they get there, they are pleasantly surprised?
Ah, that's a good question. One thing, um, it's my experience. So I'm very so I started recently, so I'm very new, but when I joined the Embry-Riddle, one thing that I was surprised was there is a robot on campus. I don't know about Prescott campus, but there is a robot on at
Mhm.
the Daytona Beach campus, and they're Uber Eats or their Uber Eats robot. So the robot is so the campus and the housing is it's within the camp housing is within the campus, but you have to walk a little bit. Like students are skateboarding at the Daytona Beach campus. A lot of students use the skateboarding, and with the skateboarding, the Uber robot is also like crossing the street and delivering the food to the residential hall. So that's one thing. It's very unique. Every little
Yeah, yeah, that's very cute.
university.
Yeah. The, Haruka, would you like to add anything? Like, because, um, uh, of course, Haruka, no, Amy, would you like to add anything? Because Haruka just joined, that she's much junior. So maybe you remember something that a student might have told you about the campus or the university that you're like pleasantly surprised.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast, let alone 8 years ago. Um, I think it's really how unconventional the learning curriculum is at Embry-Riddle, because it's majority of majority, if not all, of our faculty members, our professors, they come from the industry themselves. And so you're not gleaning from someone who's purely at an institution to get money for their research project. You're getting the knowledge and experience firsthand from someone that used to work in a position that you may be working towards. You're getting your hands-on experience. You get to use a 3D printer as a freshman on campus. And so some universities restrict you until you're later on in your bachelor's, or maybe even until you're a master's student. But with Embry-Riddle, our focus and majority of our students are bachelor seeking students. And that's where the majority of our focus is once you join us, you get sucked into it. And we like to joke Jet A fuel runs in our students' veins. They live, breathe, eat the aviation aerospace industry, all this technology stuff. It's what you really dream of. We have full motion simulators on campus. So really it's very out of this world. Pun intended.
Oh, but that's a very good answer, actually, because it's different from what students find in Brazilian universities, even like outstanding Brazilian universities. And so that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
I did look up the address for
mhm.
Sao Paulo. It says it's located in the city, specifically in the Villa Olympia neighborhood.
All right. Okay. Very central. Okay. Very good. I was just asking because we have a city outside the capital in São Paulo, São José dos Campos, where we have like an airplane manufacturer. We have the Air Force. They have uh, uh,
Embraer.
premises there. So I was wondering if it was near São José dos Campos. But that's even better because it's central. Very good. Okay, would you like to add anything else?
I have nothing, but we really appreciate this chance to speak with students in Brazil.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone who's here. This session is being recorded, but I'm going to upload it on our YouTube channel. You have the session available by tomorrow. And I'd like to thank Amy and Haruka for your time, for your energy. You're really passionate about what you do, about Embry-Riddle, and that's contagious. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And stay in
Bye-bye.
touch with Education USA if you don't know how to reach us. But even if you don't come to Embry-Riddle, stay in touch with Education USA. They will be
Thank
your
you.
best resource.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And see you soon, girls.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.